Now, when we look deep into the intricacies that you find in the war in Sudan, right? Particularly the proxy war, which is being waged by regional players like UAE, right, and Saudi Arabia. Certain information tends to be very confusing, right, and not so forthcoming. In my previous videos, I mentioned some contradictory statements that actually claim that Saudi Arabia and UAE are actually supporting one side. But on another video, I claimed that Saudi Arabia and UAE are actually supporting opposing sides. But when we look further deep into this intricacy, right, this slight complication, there is no contradiction that I've actually found, right? Now, first things first, in regards to the naval base, right, that Russians want to build on the Sudanese coastline with the Red Sea, right? The Saudi Arabia and UAE are in agreement with the introduction of the Russian forces into the coastline of the Red Sea, right? Which you find in specifically Sudan, right? Both of these regional players, Saudi Arabia and UAE, actually agree, right? They are in agreement on this one. Now, but when it comes to the government that you find in Khartoum, right, who actually establishes a government in Khartoum, the UAE and Saudi Arabia are on opposing side. Now, Saudi Arabia is on the side of the government, right, which is also supported by the United States of America, UK, I think Jordan, and Egypt, right? They are in support of the government, right, which the Sudanese armed forces led by General Burhan, they are supporting that side, right? And the UAE, right, in regards to the government that shall be established in Khartoum, the capital city of Sudan, the UAE is on the side of the RSF, right, which is the Rapid Support Forces, which are being led by General Dagalo, right? Russia also supports General Dagalo and the RSF, right? I can also add the Wagner Group, right? Is basically backing and supplying weapons to RSF, right? And this is very clear, right? By us seeing on December 2023 about 15 UAE diplomats were expelled, right? Because it was discovered that the UAE was actually supplying arms to the RSF, right? And disguising them as aid, right? You would find crates of that were supposed to be for aid, right? Containers, trucks, and whatever that were supposed to be for aid, things like food, medicine, supplies, and the likes, right? It has been found out that the UAE was actually supplying arms and weaponry to the RSF, and them claiming that this aid is for the locals of Sudanese, right? So in December, they were expelled because of this, right? This made it very clear to me that the UAE is actually in support of the RSF forces, right, which are led by General Dagalo. Now, when the Sudanese government discovered that the UAE is actually supplying arms to the RSF, in and disguising it as aid, right? The first thing that they did was to expel about 15 diplomats, right? 15 UAE diplomats, right? And expel them from Sudan. The Sudanese government gave these 15 UAE diplomats about 48 hours to leave the country because of this support and backing they were giving the RSF.